Hello and welcome to episode 37 of the Yarnflakes podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a podcast about knitting, weaving, yarning from the southwest of France. Welcome to everyone, thank you so much for joining me this week. I have quite packed episode, as in I have a lot of different crafts to share because yes, I have been doing other things than just knitting. Timestamps to all the different sections of the podcast are in the description down below, so if you're not interested in any of them, feel free to jump ahead. You will also find links to everything that I talk about, as well as my social media, Ravelry, Instagram and Etsy. Do you like my fortune teller earrings? Because I do. Welcome to everyone, I hope you are all doing well. I noticed we reached 400 subscribers, which is really sweet. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I think we can start with knitting. I'm gonna quickly show you the progress I've made on projects that are kind of bland, as in they're just really simple basic stuff. So not much to say about it, but I did do some progress, so I still want to share them with you. I have two pairs of self-striping socks on the needles at the moment. A little bit ago I showed you this sock tube by the beautiful with the beautiful Molly Weasley yarn from Nomadic Yarns, and I have cast on a bit of a cuff. So yeah, I wanted to cast it on just to have it on the needles, and I'm sorry if you see like dust flying, the little dust bunnies. It's sunny today. After 3 weeks of rain, it's finally sunny, so there are some dust light going across the screen. I hope it's not too distracting. It does distract me because I just, you see, there's one. Yes, I wanted to cast them on just so that it's done, because I feel it's kind of the step to take when it comes to second sock. But yes. Before I finish those though, I need to get on with the socks I'm knitting for my boyfriend for his birthday. I am knitting them out of Stray Cat socks in the mulled wine colorway, and I have one done. One sock completed with a German short row. They're not blocked, which is why they look a bit wonky. And I started the second one and I've done the heel already, so I just need to finish the foot. I need to finish them by this week, kinda, so I don't know if I will be able to show them to you finished, but it's just a pair of vanilla socks with a pretty yarn. So yeah, I can finish those in a couple of hours, so maybe I'll try to do that this afternoon. The wind. I don't like that because we finally have sun, and if it starts getting really windy, it's just gonna be a pain and bring clouds again in a few days, which I'm not happy about. This is not a weather report channel, and I am not British, so I don't know why I talk about the weather that much, but yeah. The next work in progress I want to share with you is my chevron blanket. I am making a blanket as a gift, and it will be repeats of 5 colors, and I wanted to have one full set of stripes to kind of know how many more I need to do, because I will probably have to get more yarn, but I have just started knitting with my last color, like really just a little bit. So this is the chevron garter blanket by Minnie Philip, and she made it as a baby blanket, and I just cast on more repeats to get an adult size. I am knitting it out of 100% acrylic yarn from Phildar. It's the Charly yarn. Yeah, gift blanket. Going to go in a washing machine and be real fine. So yeah, the first four colors are here, and they look so good. It looks really good. And I just started the medium gray, which is my fifth and last color, and after that I will repeat it. I don't know, because it's gonna be like this. I think I'm gonna need a minimum of 3 repeats, but I don't know if I should do 4, so that's why I want to measure it and kind of see, judging on the measurements of plates that I bought or stuff, how long is a blanket really supposed to be. I don't think it will be a square, just because this is probably 160. Maybe I'll make it a square now. You know, it looks really nice. I really like it. I cannot wait to gift it, though it's not now. I have 4 months to make it now, which is plenty of time, I suppose, considering, yeah, I could have done a full set of stripes in 2 weeks. I think I'm okay. I think I am okay. Have my little bunny. Yes. Try not to lose stitches. Not much to say about it. Mindless, endless knitting. Lot of garter. Do like a garter, but I admit that I don't plan on making garter shawls right after this, because I might have a slight garter overdose. I really like when you can fold hand knits, because they're really big. You know? I think it just looks really pretty. Now for the pièce de résistance, and I cannot believe I said that, because I hate it so much when people do. Yeah, for the main, the main, it actually does mean the same. It's food related when you say the main. This episode is going everywhere. Yeah, for the thing that actually looks like it has changed. Oh my god. My Ginsberg shrug cardigan is so close to being finished. Although not really, because the finishing work is kinda a big one. But yes, it looks like something. Look, I have finished the fronts. The 2 chunky fronts. And I have joined those fronts with the back, and I am now working on the ribbing, the bottom ribbing. So this is the Ginsberg cardigan by Nora Gone, and it's a chunky cape shrug thing. It's knit in bulky weight, and I chose to work with Drops Alaska in the olive colorway. And it looks really well, really good. And yes, so it should fall kind of like this. So, gonna go over the construction of this thing again. You start with the back. Don't drop stitches. You start with the back. You knit it in a point like this, and then you pick up on the sloped edge on the right and on the left. I do know my right and left, don't worry. on the right and on the left front. Then you work the two fronts simultaneously, down, 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 and this is really the longest bit of the pattern. Then you join everything and you work a bottom ribbon, which is kind of big. There is 260 stitches there, and it's quite a big ribbing, but it looks really good, so I'm not going to cut it short at all. Then you seam the side, and I don't remember exactly how, because you're supposed to leave a hole obviously for the arms, so I'll have to check the instructions for that. You seam the sides, then you pick up around the arms to make more ribbing. The pattern says to block it before picking up further ribbing. I don't see why, because to me I really need to block, especially ribbing and binding off rib. So, and I don't want to block it twice. I mean, it's bulky weight. I'm not going to block that twice because it's gonna take like 2 weeks to dry. So I'll just block everything at the end. I guess I don't understand why you wouldn't block the armhole ribbing. Okay. So yeah, the construction of this is really, yeah, it's really motivating, and I even kinda enjoyed picking up the stitches for the back from the castanage, because it worked really well and it looks good, you know. Look at that, look at how good it looks on the inside. I find it really satisfying when you have that that kind of line inside from when you pick up stitches and it's even everywhere because you didn't mess up. Yeah, it's kind of love-hate relationship with picking up stitches. But yeah, the construction of it is so funny, picking up all the pieces and putting them together and seeing it looking really weird, and then slowly going like, oh, okay, so this is going to look like that, and just visualizing it properly. I just really enjoyed it, and it made me eager to... Why do I want to say eager so much today? It really made me want to explore more interesting sweater constructions. I want to knit the Woodford's cardigan. Is it Woodford's? I think that's it. The Woodford's cardigan, which, if I understood correctly, there's a pickup line as well in the middle where you change your knitting direction, I think. Yeah, I kind of want to look for sweaters that have an interesting construction, like sideways, even though I really have a problem with row gauge. Like everyone, who gets row gauge? No one. Like even for these, the fronts were supposed to be 20 inches and 3/4. It's not written in centimeters, but yeah, 20 inches and 3/4. A quarter to 22. How do you even say it? It's just too complicated. And I believe I had like almost 23 inches, which I have no idea what that means. But I have my measuring tape as both centimeters and inches, which is really convenient when a pattern just give the inches. I don't need to convert it. So yeah. My row gauge was longer, for once. Just, you know, interesting. It's always tighter, and yeah. I guess I just got more comfortable then. So yeah, it's this textured thing again. And it's just 2x2 ribbing. I have made 2 rows of it, and I think I need to make 16 total before making a decreased row and then binding off. I hope the decreased row is a good decreased row, because I don't want to bind off 260 stitches. I probably will have to though, but you know. yes, there's a good chance of having this finished next week. Well, finished, but maybe not blocked and dry. So I'll see. If I see that I finish it and I won't have time to dry it, to show it to you, well, I will show it to you unblocked. Yeah. I need to weave in some ends. And yeah, I hope the seaming is going to go okay. There are slip stitches, two slip stitches. That's really hard to say. 2 slip stitches along the line where you need to seam. So, and a kind of a turn. I don't know if it's another way of making a Naya cord. I don't think so. But yeah, I'm not sure how to seam that. I'll have to think about it. I want it to look neat and pretty. But yeah, this beast is here, keeping me warm on my lap when I knit it. So, Ginsberg cardigan is closing in. Closing in, well, it's an open cardigan. Depends. And that's actually it for knitting this week. So that was pretty short, I believe. But like I said, this is a multitasking, multicrafting. Multicraft, that would be the title. Multicrafting episode. So I have some weaving. Well, technically I don't. I said last week that I would warp my loom. And I did. Let's all applaud. Congrats, Audrey. You only took 6 months to do what you wanted to do. So, I warped my... impossible to show. I warped my rigid head loom. This is a loom that... this is the Funem Studio rigid head loom, which is called Charly. Rigid head loom. And I want to make a big scarf of scraps. Like I made before, except this time I'm really going to make it completely scrappy, which is why the warp is all the colors of the rainbow. So yeah, I'm going to use fingering to support maybe a bit of decay. I'll see, it depends if it's a thin decay or not. Hand-dyed striping variegated colorways. That's the goal. I warped the entire width of my loom. So yeah, I need to roll the bars a little to have it more tensioned. But it's ready. Everything is threaded. Everything is tied up. And it's ready to start. I am unsure though if I have, I'm not sure that I have enough fingering weight scraps to do it. But the plan is to have this as an ongoing project and just add, you know, kind of like a cozy memories blanket. Just add when I finish a project, oh, well, I'll just put it in. And slowly I can get a nice big scarf. Yes. Kind of was a pain to warp. Warping a loom alone is... I need to find a really secure way. Warping a loom alone when you're doing with messy, homemade, crappy tools is not fun. I need to find a really better and secure way to attach the... how's it called? The peg, the warping peg, so that I can use that as an anchor to then roll the warp on the bar. And I hope I won't have any tension issues, because that would be a nightmare, and I would be really disappointed that I spent all this time and all this yarn warping it. But yeah, those are mostly scraps from socks, because you know I barely use a little bit more than half the skein for socks, so I have lots of leftovers there, as well as some shawls. This is the yarn that I use for my boho blush. I just finished it not so long ago, so you might recognize it. This is Fly by Hedgehog Fibers. This is Poison Ivy by Knit Cosmic Strings. This blue here and this blue here is Petrol Sock by Artist's Palette. This is Deep Sea by Made by Black Elephant. This is again the yarn from my boho blush. This is Reef Dive by Stranded Dye Works. This is some Drops Baby Merino. This is Dragon Fruit by Marianne Yarn. This is She Sells Seashells by Laughing Yaffle. This is a Phildar pink thing, and this is Woolbut Arosa. And yes, I have a really good memory. So hopefully once in a while I will have some progress on that to show you. I kind of want to finish my cardigan and a few other things for next week, but yeah, you never know. It looks really pretty though, so that's kind of motivating. I have high hopes that I will work on it eventually. I have some cross stitch to share. If you remember, for Christmas I had a lovely cross stitch kit from Little Bitch Hut, which is the Sleepy Fox pattern. And the fox that used to look like a bee now looks like a fox. And it's adorable. I really like it. Apologize for my nails dying things, which we'll see in a bit. So yeah, I finished the little fox and it's really cute. I ended up putting the fabric on a hoop. I did try, when I first got the kit at Christmas, to stitch without tensioning in it on the frame, which I didn't quite like it. So I guess I'll just have to deal with the fact that I'm going to have to take the hoop on and off big projects and to wash the fabric afterwards so that it doesn't stay wrinkly, so that there are no wrinkles on it. But yeah, on the hoop it is so much smoother. Yeah, I outlined the fox and everything because I really wanted it to look finished and polished and look like a fox, because that's really encouraging and cute. Now I just need to make the crown of leaves all around him, and yeah, it's really sweet. I'm a bit unsure about the 1/4 or 3/4 stitches in the pattern. I got confused with the outlines. Basically, I couldn't tell if something was a 1/4 or a 3/4. I couldn't tell if something was a 1/4 stitch in one color and then an outline in the same color, or if it was a 3/4 stitch. So I kind of winged it, and I did something at certain places and the other thing at other places, and I was afraid it would show and look really wonky, but it doesn't. I have to avoid this. It doesn't. It works quite well. I mean, the curve is alright. He has a little bone here. I think that's normal. Yeah, I think it looks nice. Actually, what's less convincing to me is the blending of the colors. There are some stitches that are made by using one thread of the two main colors of the fox, One is rust color and the other is orangey yellow, golden yellow, and yeah, it's those. And I don't know, I think it looks a bit dirty from far away. It's nice, but when you look at it up close, it looks a bit dirty. Maybe, I don't know. I understand though why it's there, and yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know if there's better options for it to make sort of a gradient like that. But yeah, I think it looks really cute, and I like the little pink in his ears. Yeah, I like it. I think I'll have it done relatively soon because I have plans. I found on Etsy, because you know when you get stuff on Etsy, then they have a related suggestions section, which is a bit hell, to be honest. And I stumbled across 3 beautiful patterns from a shop called Charts and Stuff, and they are very geometric. Like, I'll pop in pictures from the Etsy shop here. They're very geometric, rectangle or square cross-stitch pieces, and they look really nice and intricate, and it's totally the kind of things that I like. And I would, you know, I saw them and I'm like, oh, I would like to make them, and this is the sort of thing that I would have framed and hanging, you know. The original though is blue on white, and to me that kind of looks like it would be in a bathroom, which is nice, you know, but I don't want them in the bathroom. So I'm going to make them completely black on white, and I hope it will look okay. I think so. Black and white. You know. Yeah, I really like those, and I got the materials to make them, so I will. So those are the plans, cross-stitch wise. And the last section for this week's episode is going to be about dyeing yarn. Yes, I have finally dyed the tonal collection I wanted for my Etsy shop. So I just wanted to share a little bit about dyeing tonals. I actually rarely go for immersion dye, and I think that's a shame, and I'm definitely going to do it more. I've been experimenting to get to that collection. I'm going to show you in a bit. They're drying here, which is why I'm looking here. Yeah, it's just you can make such interesting variations depending on how much water there actually is, how much freedom does the yarn have. You can also put the yarn in the dye pot where the dye is already mixed with the water and is already hot, or you can pour the dye on the yarn, which is on the yarn and the water. Then depending on how much you move it around, you can get different degrees of tonal subtleties, and I find it really interesting, and I had lots of fun playing with it. If you remember, I had dyed a couple of tonal schemes for socks that were really not variegated because they were tonals, but there was really a big difference. Like there was a charcoal grey, and it was going from very deep charcoal to very light grey, and it made a really different color all around. This time I decided to tone down those variation and just have colorways that are easy to mix and match, easy to use for texture stitch, but that are still have some depth in them, like some parts that have more that are more saturated, other that are a bit more light, but in a much more subtle way. Like there is no, for the tonal, skeins that I'm going to show you, there is no bit where the yarn stayed almost natural. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing it like this, and I think that this is going to be my favorite tonal, my favorite way to dye tonals, and I will do it again in the spring or summer to complete that tonal collection, because as you will see now, the skeins that I dyed are quite rich, deep colors. So when summer days will come, I'll probably want more, not necessarily pastel, but yeah, lighter colorways. They're dry now, which is really nice because I'm going to be able to prepare them and place them in the update. Yeah, so these will hit my Etsy shop probably this weekend, but yeah, I just wanted to share them to show you what I mean with the dyeing process. So this is a reddish viney pink, so you can see what I mean by it being a bit more on the wine tone here, and then slightly pink here. It's more red than it shows, but yeah, here it is correct. Yes, this is Christian, which is not named after the meme, but after a character from The Expanse, which is a sci-fi book series and Netflix series that I highly recommend in case you haven't heard my tangent on it in a previous episode. I wanted something, at first I thought I would make something burgundy, but then I wanted it to be a bit more light, so that's why I ended up with a red. A simple frank, vivid, frank, you don't say, do you say frank, honest? Yeah, vivid red. This is a charcoal, and as you can see, it's a bit variegated too, but it's mostly dark, and I do though really like those spots. They're not light grey, they're, say, the lighter parts are medium grey, and the big part of the skin is charcoal. This one I moved it around a lot, and quickly after I put it in, I put the dye in the pot so that it would, so that the dye would impregnate. What did I say that? So that the dye would penetrate really well in bigger areas of the skin, and I am quite pleased with the results. This is Antigone. Antigone, how do you pronounce it in English? You know, the Greek character, the daughter of Oedip. Oedip. It sounds like it's an electronic. Yeah. Oedip. Antigone, the daughter of the guy who made himself blind because he slept with his mother. Okay, you got my point. Antigone is one of my favorite mythology figure, and yeah, there's a couple things I highly recommend. One is the play, the modernized play written by Jean Anouilh. I write things down. And a novel that is my favorite. It's one of my favorite novels. It's not my favorite novel, but it's my favorite piece around that whole thing. And it's Oedip on the Road. Oedip on the Road, I think would be the translation, by Henri Bochot, which is a Belgian author. And yeah, both are quite dark takes on something that is already not fun, but not dark as in death and stuff like that. It's more, yeah, it's something that I like and that inspired me a really charcoaly, rich, but dark colorway. I am so bad at explaining what I want. The next, if I can grab it, the next colorway is Outsider, and it's green. And I'm so happy with this green. I've always been a bit scared of dyeing green because I'm very peculiar with greens, and I really like this one. It has spots of more foresty pine green, and then bits that cut like really, really saturated grass green. And this is Outsider, or The Outsider, I haven't decided it, from the H.P. Lovecraft short story. If you have never read any Lovecraft, you can start with that. I read The Outsider when I was a teenager, and it did quite an impression on me, literally, literature-wise. So I literarily speaking, and yeah, I just pictured a deep green, and I got it. And I used a lot of dye for that one, and it took me a while. I had several trials to kind of adapt the quantity of dye because I wanted it to be rich and saturated, but not to the point that it would keep bleeding and make no sense. I don't want to waste dye. I think it's one of the hardest part when you dye tonal is to get the right amount of dye for your yarn, because you don't want to waste any, but at the same time you don't want it to be too little. And the problem is, if you keep over dyeing, it doesn't have the same effect as if you just put it in one go and move it around to get the kind of tonal look that you want. So after much fighting, I got the green I wanted, and I really like it. Next is a blue. I'm gonna sound so posh with my literature references, but you know, why not? My previous collections were all like pop culture and video games references, so now I can be clever if I want. This is Dulcinea, which is Dulcinea, Don Quixote's princess thing. You know, if you know Don Quixote's story, that he is trapped in a fictional world. The whole thing that Cervantes did was using fiction as a main focus and playing around with it. So his main character, Don Quixote, thinks he's some sort of brilliant knight, and you know, he fights windmills, and he thinks that an ugly peasant is a gorgeous, godly princess, and this is Dulcinea, which made the word Dulcinée in French. I wonder if you have it in English too, which now refers to, if you say that a girl is your Dulcinée, it means that she's your love, she's your soulmate. And yeah, and I just like blue. I just wanted something that would look sweet You know, blue is easy, blue is sweet, blue is nice, but then it's quite a dark, royal blue. So it's a little bit shady. You know, it's a shady blue. That's kind of what I wanted. Something that looks nice. Oh, it's Dulcinea, you know, and if you look at the darker spots, like, what? That was the idea. I didn't move that skin much, which is why it's a bit more changing than the other ones. And yeah, that's nice. I hope you like when I talk about dyeing. I really enjoy, you know, I don't quite like shoving my hand-dyed yarns into your face. I just like to show you the process of dyeing and what doing certain things does. So this is why I focus on, rather than just saying, hey, these are in my shop. I hope you find it as interesting as I do. Do tell me. If you don't, I'll be sure to change things up, make it quicker. And this is last tonal for this collection is Saturn, I don't know how you pronounce it. I really shouldn't pick names that I can't pronounce. You know, the planet. Saturn. I don't know. It's a beige coffee brown with little bits of caramel honey tones. And I just think that this is so versatile. This is a revamp of what I did for my boho blush shawl. This is a bit lighter, a bit more honey colored, a bit more golden beige, so to say. Yeah, I really like this one. And finally, I have, so this is, I wanted basic colorways for my, I have hair everywhere. I wanted basic colorways for my yarns, and I also wanted to explore subtle speckling. You're gonna see it, you're gonna like, Audrey, this is not subtle. But what I mean is proper speckling, that is, have a neutral base and carefully pick the colors and how much of them you speckle. And this is how this colorway came to be. This is High Hopes, Pink Floyd. My favorite Pink Floyd song. Everyone's favorite Pink Floyd song, to be honest. But yes, so this is a light beigey base with speckles of blue and brown. And what I really like with the way I speckled this, I speckled on a dry situation. Well, the yarn is wet, you know, but I speckled on dry without water involved, and then I heat it up to set the dye. And what it means is that when I wash it out, some of the bigger chunks of color melt with the base of the yarn, and you end up with these places where the yarn got a really nice beige peachy color because of how the brown bled. It happened with the blue as well. Ooh. It happened with the blue as well, some spot, and I just really like it. I really like it. Yay! High hopes. And quite proud of myself. I didn't do it intentionally, but look how well these goes together. Could make a shawl. I might make a shawl with those. So yeah, this will be on my wool sock base, which is 75% wool. It's a blend of European breeds that are it's not merino soft, it's not as dry as opal or regia either. It's yeah, it just has a little bit more bite, which makes it nice if you want to do color work socks as well. And with those, you can. And yeah, they're 75 wool and 25% nylon for strong, durable socks. Oh, they look so pretty all together. I will go and enjoy the fact that it's sunny to photograph them, and they will be in my shop this weekend. But do tell me if you appreciate the dye talk, you know. And this is it for this week's episode. Yeah, I've talked quite a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I wish you a happy day, night and week, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!